Welcome to the deep dive, where we take your sources and pull out the key takeaways for you. Saves time, brings clarity.
That's the idea.
So today we're diving into a really interesting piece from the Global Times. It's all about China's May Day holiday just gone.
Right. And what it tells us about, well, the economy's pulse, consumer trends, lots going on there.
Exactly. And, for anyone gearing up for competitive exams like the UPSC, this offers a great snapshot, real-time socioeconomic developments.
Definitely relevant. So our mission today really is to understand these key trends in Chinese domestic consumption, tourism, specifically during May Day.
And what it all means, right, for the bigger picture, economic development, regional balance.
Precisely. And we'll also touch on how China's attracting international tourists, maybe beyond just the usual big cities. The source, as you said, is that Global Times article.
Okay, let's get into it. First off, the sheer scale of movement. It's kind of mind-boggling.
It really is. The article talks about what? 1.467 billion cross-regional passenger trips expected, just May 1st to 5th.
Wow. That averages out to nearly 300 million trips a day.
Yeah, 293 million, they said. And that's up 8% from last year. It just paints a picture of a country, really, on the move.
And it wasn't just one type of travel, was it?
No, that's a key point. It was across the board, rail, road, water, air. They all saw increases.
Which suggests a strong desire to travel, obviously, but also maybe the capacity, logistically.
I think so. It points to disposable income, perhaps more leisure time, and yeah, the systems being able to handle that volume.
And people weren't just traveling, they were spending too.
Right. The article mentioned a 6.3% year-on-year jump in sales for major retail and catering businesses.
So it's this dual engine, yeah. Travel and consumption powering the holiday economy.
Exactly. They feed each other. You travel, you spend on transport, hotels, food, shopping. It creates this positive cycle.
Okay, but here's something that really jumped out at me from the piece. This idea of reverse travel.
Yes, that's a fascinating trend.
It sounds like people are heading to smaller cities more, not just the huge tourist magnets.
That's exactly it. Reverse travel basically means choosing less conventional, often smaller cities or even county-level spots for holidays, skipping the massive crowds in Beijing or Shanghai maybe.
Why, though? What's driving that shift? Is it just about crowds?
Well, crowds are likely part of it, but maybe also seeking, more authentic experiences. Or perhaps it's cheaper.
Lower cost could definitely be a factor.
And don't underestimate social media. Suddenly these smaller places get visibility they never had before. A cool video goes viral and boom.
Like those examples they gave, Romchang district in Zhongsheng.
Yeah, that was wild. 2.24 million visitors.
And selling 290,000 marinated geese in 5 days. That's specific, but tells a story.
It really does. It shows the kind of economic impact even a specific local product can have when the tourists arrive.
And it wasn't just Rongcheng. Tongling and Anhui, Douyin orders for hotels and food up nearly 500%.
An incredible surge, 491% year on year. And other places too. Yichun, Chuancheng, and Anhui orders more than tripled.
Then you had Shangrao in Jiangxi, Tongliao in Inner Mongolia.
Bang, Lingshui, and Hainan. All seeing massive jumps, like 150%, 170%. These aren't small numbers. It's a real shift.
And Trip.com data backs this up, right? County-level tourism growing faster than major cities.
Yeah, by 11 percentage points, apparently. County markets up 25% year on year. That's significant.
So what's enabling this? Beyond just wanting something different.
Well, the article points to a few things. Remember those other viral trends? The Village Super League basketball, Zibo barbecue, Tianshui Malatang.
Ah, right. So there's a pattern of these sort of localized phenomena taking off.
Exactly. People seem drawn to these unique, maybe more grassroots experiences. But crucially, infrastructure plays a huge role.
How so?
Think about it. Internet video platforms, TikTok, Douyin, they let small businesses, even in remote areas, market themselves directly to millions.
Okay, so discovery is easier.
Right. Then there's the high-speed rail network. It keeps expanding, making these smaller cities much easier to reach, even for a short holiday.
Faster travel times, more convenience.
Definitely. And they also mention electric vehicles. More people using EVs gives them flexibility for spontaneous road trips, exploring off the beaten path.
So it's tech, transport, and changing tastes all coming together.
Pretty much. And the Global Times frames this as economic growth drivers spreading out, reaching these third and fourth tier cities and counties.
Which, again, for our UPSC listeners, is a really important dynamic. It speaks to regional development, trying to balance growth across the country.
Yes, it aligns with those broader policy goals of coordinated regional development,
Yeah.
reducing the gap between the wealthy coastal areas and the interior. This tourism shift seems to be one way that's actually happening on the ground.
And interestingly, it's not just Chinese tourists exploring these smaller places, foreign visitors too.
Yeah, that was another striking statistic. Inbound travel orders during the holiday up 173% year on year.
Wow, huge increase.
And while, sure, the big cities are still the main gateways, the article says international travelers are increasingly checking out places like Jingdezhen,
Famous for porcelain, right?
exactly, or Tianshui, which got that recent buzz, or Zhoushan, the coastal city. They're venturing beyond the usual circuit.
And businesses are adapting, creating new models to attract them.
Seems so. They mention concepts like technology plus nature plus culture.
What would that even look like? Augmented reality at a historical site?
Could be. Or maybe interactive displays in natural settings. Also things like agriculture plus intangible cultural heritage, offering farm stays or craft experiences, even just China shopping as a specific draw.
So, trying to offer more unique, immersive experiences.
Right. And the narrative here is that these small town stories show China's high-quality development and its increasing openness. China travel becoming less about ticking off landmarks, more of a lifestyle.
That makes sense. Now, besides this big shift to smaller cities, were there other broader tourism trends mentioned?
Yeah, a few quick ones showing how diverse the market is becoming. Things like new silver-haired tourism, specific travel for older folks.
Okay, catering to the aging population.
Then neo-Chinese style tourism, focusing on traditional aesthetics and culture. Plus the ones we know, like shopping tourism, concert tourism, people traveling just for a gig.
And the reverse tourism we've already talked about, it's a really dynamic mix.
It is. And the article links this boom in cultural tourism to people seeking a better quality of life and also China's growing status in the global consumer market.
For UPSC folks, that link between cultural trends, quality of life aspirations, and economic impact is pretty central to socioeconomic analysis.
Absolutely. Because these trends don't just mean more spending. They push industries to upgrade, create new services, new jobs. It ripples through the economy.
So pulling this all together, what does this May Day activity tell us about the Chinese economy's overall health, its resilience?
The article uses that metaphor. China's economy isn't a pond, it's an ocean.
Right, meaning it's vast, deep, multi-layered.
Exactly. That depth acts as a buffer against external shocks, and also as a huge internal market, a testing ground for new ideas and services like these tourism trends.
With over 1.4 billion people, ongoing urbanization, consumption upgrades, the potential is obviously massive.
For sure. And the piece emphasizes China's openness, welcoming both domestic and international consumers, building trust.
So the conclusion is pretty optimistic, looking at both the big cities and these rising small towns.
Very much so. It talks about unlimited possibilities and expecting more surprises from all corners of the economy. That diverse landscape is crucial for, anyone analyzing China's economic role globally, UPSC aspirants included.
Okay, so let's quickly summarize the key takeaways for you listening. This May Day holiday really highlighted the vitality of China's consumer market.
Definitely. With a really noticeable trend of tourism shifting towards smaller cities alongside the usual hotspots.
And this shift isn't just random. It's backed by better infrastructure, maybe some policy effects, and definitely changing tastes among both Chinese and international tourists.
All pointing towards a broadening and perhaps a deepening of economic growth, spreading it out more regionally.
So, for UPSC aspirants, this deep dive gives you concrete examples of current economic trends, regional development and action, and how consumption patterns are evolving in a major global player.
Yeah, understanding these real-world dynamics can really sharpen your analysis of those bigger socioeconomic questions.
Absolutely. We're curious what part of this discussion stood out most to you. Let us know. Please like, subscribe, and drop a comment with your thoughts or any further questions.
And remember, the insights we discussed today were drawn from that article in the Global Times.
Right. And maybe a final thought to leave you with.
Go on.
Given this rapid change and the shifting preferences we've talked about, what do you think the next unexpected hotspot in China might be? And what could possibly drive its emergence?
That's a good question. Something to definitely think about.